Hello guys, I hope you're good. I don't know whether my signal is okay because I've been struggling with signal. That's why I've been delayed. But overall, I'm with Tejo. Today, today we're going to talk about Chelsea versus Manchester City on the weekend. What do we need to do to win that game? I don't want us to go to that game and then be negative. I want Chelsea to win each and every game. But also, I know it will be difficult beating Manchester City. Also, we heard some rumors about Chelsea trying to recruit some of the people from Brighton, other ones from Huddersfield Town. Not Swansea, I mean. So overall, Seiko, how are you?
Hey man, how's it going?
I'm good, thanks. Here we have Coachella on the chat. Chelsea perspective.
Let's go,
And,
let's
uh,
go, let's go, let's
and
go.
we have Papi. Papi.
Thanks for joining,
So, man, are
gentlemen.
you ready for Manchester City game?
I I have no expectations. Uh, Look, we already played against them, but we had the home ground advantage. It was good, and it was a good enough game. But it's a completely different ball game now. We're going to the Etihad Stadium. I mean, we know how relentless they can be in that in at home. They have a almost a fully fit squad. They played very well in the Champions League during the week. They played very well against what is it that they were playing against over the weekend? Was it Everton? Um, I think it was Everton. I'm not entirely sure. They played relatively okay. I mean, they had the first shot on target in the 70th minute, and even that shot on target turned out to be a goal. So it just goes to show just how relentless they can be at home. And I mean, Haaland came through with two goals immediately, and it almost happened. I think it was about the 2 minute period for him to score both goals, if not 3 minutes. I'm not entirely sure of the time frames, but they played well. So more like how we also had our first shot on target in the second half of the Crystal Palace game, but I mean, it wasn't anywhere near a good performance in the first half, and we genuinely struggled. So it definitely will be a tough game. It's one of those 70-30 type things. The 70%. Hold on, man. Yeah, I'm done. So it's one of those things where it's one of those things where we have to be very careful. We can't make any mistakes. We have to be clinical when we get opportunities. We have played against them. We know exactly how tough it is to play against them. I mean, we scored 4 goals and they scored 4 back. We just couldn't win that game. So I think it would be very interesting. It's going to be a very interesting game. I don't bank us to win, but I think we do stand a bit of a chance. We stand a bit of an opportunity. However, we're playing at the Etihad. It's going to be a very tough game. No matter what type of squad we're going to field in there, it doesn't matter who plays in that game. It is going to be tough either way. So we'll see.
Yeah, man, the Kevin De Bruyne just came back at the right time for them, and which I don't like because each and every time they're struggling, De Bruyne will come in and then make something happen. So overall, I think we need to prepare very well. But I need three things from this game: avoid a heavy defeat, make sure we are solid at the back, and then, as you said, be clinical. This is what I need. I don't want a heavy defeat at Chelsea anymore. You remember the Newcastle game that we lost? I think it was 4-0. I don't want that. 4-1. So I don't want that anymore. It's not good for the club. It's not good for the coach. It's not good for everyone, especially us fans. So as much as we know that I guess Manchester City will struggle, but at least At least I'm shameless right now. At least beat us 1-0, 2-0. It's fine, but not more than that. Now coach says it's gonna be tough indeed. I agree. But man, I wish we had Erling Haaland in our squad. Maybe his twin brother. That would be helpful because at the moment we've been playing some good games, but the thing we're not clinical. So overall, I think we should do better in order to win this game. But still, do you think that we'll win this game?
No, I don't think we will win this game. I won't lie to you, bro. If we win it, it will be a miracle. It will be. It won't be because we played. It won't be because we played excellently well. I think it will be if we win, it will be because Man City would have potentially played bad. So we have to hope that they play bad for us to win this game. That's quite literally the only way I can think of that we'd stand a chance of winning. I mean, one of the best performances we put up the entire season was the 4-4 draw, and they were not playing at their best, and yet they still managed to score 4 goals against us. You know what I mean? So I don't think we're going to win. I won't lie to you. I'm not going to watch that game with the hope that we're winning. But if we do get a spirited from performance at the very least, or we try and avoid defeat, that's the first thing we have to do. In pretty much every game that we compete in, we have to first thing is to try and avoid defeat. You know what I mean? It's if you don't lose a game, the only thing left is for you to try and win. So I mean, we played very well against Aston Villa. We played okay against Crystal Palace. I didn't really like. It's a matter of fact I couldn't even finish that game. From the 84th minute, I think from that point it's like, you know what, my internet kind of messed up a bit at that time, so I couldn't really finish the game. But even after I fixed it, I didn't want to go back. I wanted to see the score after the game was done, only for me to find out that we scored 2 more goals in stoppage time. So I thought that was very spirited. But we need pretty much a good setup in that game. We need to not make any mistakes whatsoever. We need to be very clinical going forward. I mean, we need to be very solid at the back, like you said. Even in midfield, you have to try by all means to make use of the ball as well as possible. Not misplace any passes, not make any dumb fouls, and get a lot of yellow cards. I mean, we're already the highest team with a lot of yellow cards. So clearly, we do have a problem with some sort of discipline, but I mean, it comes expected in a team that has an average age of what, 24, 25. So the kids are very young. It's a very young squad. Obviously, the issue with discipline is also a big problem. But what the least I can ask from these group of players is for them to give us a spirited performance. It's for them to perform real well and play like they really want to be there, play like they want to win, not just be passive like we did in the first half against Crystal Palace. But we most likely won't have the ball a lot because, again, it's Manchester City. It's expected. So for any opportunity that we get, we need to try and get. We need to try and take the best out of it. I mean, especially on the counter. And I know we can play very well on the counter. All that we have to do is make sure that we don't lose the ball quite often, especially when we have, I mean, particularly when we have it. Off the ball, we just have to put in a little bit more pressure on Man City, and maybe we might stand a chance. But like I said, we're in the Etihad. So Haaland is definitely out for goals. Kevin De Bruyne scored in the week. Bernardo Silva will most likely play. He scored in the week as well. They have a fantastic squad, and we know how good they can be. We know how good they are, and we have struggled all season. We have been inconsistent. Perhaps recent wins, the 2 wins that we had recently, might have been a turning point for us. But we've said that a few times this season. So I won't get my hopes up at all that in this game, but I will definitely be watching at least to analyze how we play. But I don't have any hopes up whatsoever. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I just want to address something because do you mind meeting Mike and then yeah, I think it's fine now. Okay, let's go to this question from Coach. Says for Chelsea, the key to defeat Manchester City would be an intense performance and personal discipline. I agree with him 100%. This is what we want in order to beat Manchester City. We need to be disciplined. We should not get excited or get ahead of us. Even the coach, I think he should set up this team very. Remember the game we played against the game at home. I know we scored 4 goals. They scored 4 goals, but overall, I think we played very well. We still disappointed of those silly goals that we gave away. But against Man City now at their home, I think we should, at all means, to avoid defensive mistakes. I want everyone from Malu Gusto, Ben Chilwell, please, we don't want the repeat of the Wolves and Liverpool game, also the Manchester United game, that we look clueless. We want to be ready against Manchester City. But I want to address something because some of our fans have been complaining about Moses Caicedo against Crystal Palace. I think he gave away 9 balls, which at the moment is a DM, but he gave away nine balls. So is it a concern for you?
It has been a concern for me for sure. I mean, I think I said it in the last stream also. If not the the one before this one, I think it was prior to the game against Aston Villa, where I said that I mean, for a defensive midfielder, he gives the ball away quite frequently, and it's very frustrating because sometimes when he's on the ball, he doesn't look like he's comfortable on it on in possession. You know, I wasn't always convinced with the way that he played, but when he's on the ball, but the game against Aston Villa as well as the game against Crystal Palace. He may have given the ball 9 times against Crystal Palace, but he played a fantastic game for me. Sometimes he just got unlucky. That's all it was. Um, he's a little bit too slow in releasing the ball at times. We can't afford that against Manchester City at all. We cannot afford it. So he would have to pull up his socks. He would have to pull up to this game very much so. He would have to play his best version of himself in this game. He would have to be incredibly careful with how he plays. He would have to have his positional play absolutely on point the whole game. No letting out, no losing focus, no none of that, none of that. He's gonna have to be on point. He has to perform. We depend a lot on him, and if we have any sort of sense of control in midfield, he plays a very integral part in that. And I still believe that he can do it. I mean, it's just the way that he played against Aston Villa. If he does that, also, if he just does that, gives us that performance that he played against Aston Villa, we might stand a chance of creating some chances, as well as Enzo Fernandez, if I may add him as well, because they are a midfield pair. They need each other, and their communication is the most important one in the game. So Moises would have to literally be on his A game for Saturday's game. There's no two ways about it. He has to play his best football in that day. He has to bring his A game. Otherwise, we will be in trouble. Any one mistake that he makes and Rodri gets the ball in midfield, or Kevin De Bruyne gets the ball in midfield, or Bernardo Silva gets the ball in midfield, or Phil Foden gets the ball in midfield, or Erling Haaland gets the ball in midfield. Do you get what I'm saying? If we make any of those mistakes in midfield, we are vulnerable. We are vulnerable at every turn. So we have to try and minimize that, really. Otherwise, we are in trouble. We are in serious trouble.
Yeah, I agree with you. All we need to do against Manchester City, I know Enzo likes to go forward sometimes, uh, go back and stuff. But against Manchester City, I don't want Enzo going forward. I need him more close to Moses Caicedo. As you said, like sometimes Moses Caicedo look lost. So now against Manchester City, we need to be disciplined. Also, Enzo might be the person that will help him. Being close to him most of the time. I know, yes, he want to go forward, create more goals and stuff, but against Manchester City, please, Pochettino, don't let Enzo get overexcited. Go forward a lot. I need him close to Moses Caicedo, especially against Manchester City, in order to help him out. Then I think we might be good to challenge Manchester City. And then I want our attackers to be on the A game against Manchester City. If Jackson plays, if Noni plays, if Palmer plays, please, man, make sure your shooting boots are shining at the moment. Yeah, you are polishing them, brushing them. Make sure they're shiny because we need to be clinical. Otherwise, Manchester City will hurt us. Also, guys, on the chat, please like and subscribe. Will be helpful for this channel. And then I just want to say something. Chelsea fans have been critical of Conor Gallagher. Now he's adding goals to his game. So what are your thoughts about Conor Gallagher, especially against Aston Villa Crystal Palace?
He brought the game that we always expected him to have in since the beginning of the season. He just hasn't had that much luck. But in the game that we played against Aston Villa, as well as now in against Crystal Palace, he played very well. And if we're going to, well, I don't want to get too excited, right? So I think in the next game against City, I think in the next game against City, he must just bring the exact type of game that he played, to give us maybe a clinical edge going forward, because we know his attacking prowess going forward. We know just how good he can, what kind of um, attacking football he can add to the front three. So he can also win the ball a lot. He also wins the ball a lot up front. So we need someone like him definitely in that game. I really don't have a problem with Conor Gallagher. I've been a big fan of his since the season started, and he's shown that he definitely wants to be here. He wants to play for the team. He wants to play for the club. He's there, right? He's always present. He's always making a nuisance of himself. He's that guy. He's always there. So he would bleed for this club. To be honest with you, I would believe it if he said that he's the only one in the team that definitely plays for the team, for the club, for the badge. If there's anyone that has been consistent in that all season, it's him. And so now that he's found his shooting boots again, I mean, he's got 3 goals in the last 2 games. That's great. That adds a lot of confidence to his overall game. Maybe we might see some belters from a distance that go in, like he did last season against Crystal Palace again. But honestly, we'll have to depend on him as well. He will be an instrumental part in the game. He will be one of those that might win us the game, and he can add that much to his game as well. I mean, definitely we might have the most expensive midfield in the Premier League, but Man City has pretty much the best midfield, basically in the last 2-3 seasons in the Premier League. So we better hope that they don't play Rodri and De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva in the same midfield trio, because if they do, I don't know, man. I think it's going to be very tough. And we know how much De Bruyne loves scoring against us, so that's also a factor. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's. I don't know how many times I have to say this. It definitely will be a tough game. It won't be easy at all. So we'll see how far we will see how we get with the game. But I am hopeful that we at least give, or the boys give at least a much more spirited performance than we're used to, because we haven't been seeing a lot of those this season. Even when we win, sometimes it looks like we were a bit lucky. The game against Crystal Palace was quite cringy for me. I think we could have done better to control that game, just purely because of the kind of injuries that they have in their team. Sure, we have a lot of injuries as well, but we still had the better players on the field. So we could have definitely had more control in that game. We didn't. We did not assert any sort of dominance at all until the very last minute of the game, where we had to, even in those two goals that we scored them because we were counter attacking. We did not create that chance or those chances with Crystal Palace having all their players at the back and having, because they played a very compact game in that game. They were really compact. They were all together. They were defending really well, especially in the first half. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be difficult to play that same kind of game against Man City. But all I'm asking for is the same kind of spirited performance that we played in the first game of the season against Manchester City, in the first half of the season. So if we give that kind of performance, then I don't think there's much that the fans will be mad about. If we actually get something that would make us feel like the boys wanted to play, like they wanted that, like they played to win. So yeah, it's gonna be tough. I don't know what else to say, but from that point, I think it's we just have to be on our A game. That's all. We have to try.
Yeah, also another player been impressing me, Enzo Fernandez, finally scoring goals now. This is the Enzo that I've been waiting for. Especially, he's been criticized from our fans, also from the rival fans, that why did you buy Enzo Fernandez? All he do is just pass and stuff. He doesn't know how to score. Against Aston Villa, he scored a wonderful free kick. Against Crystal Palace, scored a wonderful goal. If you look at it again, he just made the defender fall down. It was so fun to watch that goal. But overall, I'm glad Enzo Fernandez finally scoring goals, which I always wanted. But our front three against Manchester City, I think the match should be spot on. I want Christopher Nkunku to start and Palmer. The rest, I don't know. The choose will choose. I don't know about that. But as long Palmer plays on the right winger, Nkunku is the first nine. I know we said it on the channel. We don't like this first nine and stuff. But unfortunately, Broca is not doing well. We had to loan him out. Also, we didn't buy a new striker in January. Hopefully, in the summer, we get a real number nine. But overall, for God's sake, Nkunku is the first nine, and Palmer on the right. On the left, I don't know. Who do you think should be on the left?
Jackson. Jackson. We start Jackson on the right, on the left. It's as simple as that. We start that boy. He covers a lot of ground. He does not get tired. He's very tireless, that boy, and I love that about him. Is that he he plays like he should have played all season. He's shown glimpses when he plays as number nine, no doubt. But on the left, the way that he played against Aston Villa to begin with, I thought that was great. I thought that was awesome. Just the way that he played on the left. I didn't even think that he could play in the left at all, but he did. And I mean, a lot of people were expecting him to fail. I've always been a fan of that boy. I know, sure, he misses a lot of chances and all that, but he's a phenomenal footballer. I love the way that he plays. I'm just not gonna lie to you. I like the way that he's strong on the ball. I like the way that that he progresses the ball whenever he gets it in midfield. I like the way that he just plays overall. He's just amazing. He really is great. Yes, he doesn't score a lot of goals. That's something that he has to do, obviously. But he has scored how many goals now this season? 9. He's not yet in double figures. All season, if I'm not mistaken. I think it is 9 now. But that's still 9 goals. You know what I mean? It's still 9 goals scored. So we expected far too much from him. He's still a kid, but he has proven. I mean, specifically when he was still at Sevilla, he was just playing great. Maybe he shouldn't play the whole 90 minutes. I don't think it's we need to play him for all 90 minutes. We can maybe play him for like 65, 70 minutes maximum, and then perhaps bring in Mudrik or Sterling at that point. But something tells me he's not going to start. He might just start. I mean, Posh might just start with Sterling on the left, and he might if he's gonna start Jackson, he might start him in the middle, because I'm not too sure if he's gonna want to start Nkunku in that game. Just the same as he didn't start him in the Crystal Palace game. I think he's just trying to play it safe because these are his key players, and if we can get Nkunku to stay fit for the rest of the season, he's gonna have to be very cautious about how he goes about his game management. And then, because a player like Jackson, has Jackson gotten injured this season? I'm not sure if he has. I'm pretty sure he's received some suspensions, but he hasn't fallen ill. He hasn't gotten injured. None of that. He's fit. He's a strong boy. I like him. I really like him. If he just adds to goals, if he just adds to the clinical edge in his game, he can score far too many goals than he is right now. But I'm not too mad about him. He's a great player. I would love to see him start. He causes a lot of problems when he defends. He causes a lot of problems when he's on the ball. It's difficult to get him off the ball when he's in the mood. So Sterling might start though, because he's going back to the Etihad. I'm pretty sure Cole Palmer will start the game. That's for sure. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure if Nkunku will start the game. I don't know. He might start him, but he probably won't play the full 90 minutes just because of his game management, basically, I think. But we'll see how far we get with that.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're just wasting Christopher Nkunku's abilities there because I don't see him as a number 9. I wanted him to be just our number 10 behind the striker, but at the same time, our players are starting to play well. For example, if Conor Gallagher starts to add goals into his game, I don't think he will be dropped. We're hoping maybe if he's not doing well, he's gonna be dropped. Sometimes we play into Moses Caicedo in the midfield, then Kunku as a number 10, Palmer on the right, Sterling or Mudrik on the left, then Jackson. But in this case, if Conor Gallagher is getting goals, keep on playing him because he might win this. He might win this game for us. We'll never know, right? But I just want us to move to the next topic, which is Chelsea are planning to hire a loan manager from Zanzibar. I think his name is Josh Marsh. Josh Marsh from Zanzibar, and then he was a part of the recruitment team at Zanzibar Football Club. So, what is your thoughts about that? Because I've been hearing fans complain that why is Chelsea hiring Zanzibar people? We tend to a mediocre team. Why we didn't go to a top club and stuff. So, what is your thoughts about it?
Do any of those fans know any loan manager from any of the top clubs that is available?
I
First
don't think
question.
they do.
it doesn't really matter what the other fans are saying. It really doesn't matter because even I don't know who this guy is, but I have no complaints. As a matter of fact, I could give two shits about who plays, who the loan manager is. I don't care. As long as he goes in, does a great job. That's all that he's hired there to do. I don't even know the guy, so I won't have any beef with someone I don't even know. It makes absolutely no sense for me to have a problem with this guy when I don't even know who he is. I've never seen him before. I've never heard of him before. Cool. If he was a loan manager for Swansea, that's what he was. But I don't know who he is. I don't know who he is. But he probably was picked for a reason. That's one thing I can tell you is that he probably did impress someone that wanted to hire him, and they offered him a contract. And they offered him a contract and they gave him a job. Sorry about that. And they gave him a job. Yeah. So perhaps it's something that he does do right. Perhaps there's something that he adds to the game. Perhaps he's not as bad as people think he is. I for one do not know who he is, and I think he wasn't just picked for nothing. They didn't just pick him because they wanted to get a loan manager as soon as possible. All that they had to do was look into him, and then it probably worked out. Just hold on for me for a second.
Yeah, I agree with you on that because our former player, if I'm not mistaken, Makalele was the loan manager at Chelsea, but he had to leave due to his personal reasons. As he mentioned on Twitter, we call it X at the moment. So he resigned at Chelsea due to his personal reasons. And then we had to fill that spot. So overall, I think we're replacing Makalele with someone else. And as you mentioned, if you ask those fans that complaining, do they know Manchester City loan manager, Manchester United, blah blah blah. Even the funny thing, the kid manager is from second division, League Two in England. So nothing to do. As long as he came to Chelsea and do the job, we don't care, man. And also, Chelsea is looking to hire Brighton. Uh, I forget what his role at Brighton, but Chelsea are offering a role to be a global recruitment as director, sort of. To remember, Chelsea hired Paul was named to be a global scouting director, but now since him and Lawrence Stewart are the sporting director, they had to hire someone to fill that position. Now again, same fans are complaining. Why are we going to Brighton? Why didn't the owners buy Brighton? Why did they buy Chelsea? And I'm tired, man. Why can't we give these people a chance to work and then we'll judge them? Simple as that, right?
I mean, look, the fans will always talk. They just want big star names. They want people who have worked in big clubs. They just want things, and we can't keep everybody happy, right? The least that we can do is prove that we can do all that we want to do on the pitch. That's where we're going to be judged. We don't really know how everything is going to pan out, but if whatever decisions they're doing in the background, any decisions that they're making on recruitment or on the boards of directors or anything like that, if any of those decisions do not influence the team or the team that plays on the ground positively, then sure, they should accept the criticism, because then at that point they're not really adding any value. If anything, they're depreciating the whole value of the team. So I can't judge anyone I don't know. The same way I can't judge Maurizio Pochettino this season when he's never had a fully fit squad, especially with some of his most important and most important players in the team. I mean, look at Reece James, for instance. He's played how many minutes this season? And he's our captain. And we have players like Fofana, who hasn't played a single minute of the season. We have players like Christopher Nkunku, who just came back from injury. So I can't judge Poch completely on the way that the season has gone so far. However, some of the performances that we have given, some of the performances we've played, have been very questionable. Have been very disappointing because we expected more, right? I mean, we have a squad full of superstars. We should get something out of them. We should get something going. But all the board decisions that have been made so far, all the changes that have been made so far, I can't really be the one to be the judge on who's joining, because I genuinely don't know who these guys are. I don't know who they are. So if what they're going to do is great, then sure, we can then come back and say that look, these guys have not been that great. They have not been great acquisitions. As a matter of fact, ever since they joined the team, we have become a much worse team than we were before they came. I can't really judge them on that, and nobody, especially the fans of Chelsea, can claim that they know best with how the team or how the club should be managed. And no, you don't know anything. There's absolutely nothing that you think you know. You think you know something, but you don't know. No, you assume that because we have someone from Swansea, he'll do a terrible job. That is never really the case, right? So man, fans will always talk. I'm talking right now. I'm making a lot of. I'm giving my opinions, even though I don't know the full story, because I don't know how things are done in the background. I don't know how things are done in the higher hierarchy. I don't know. So from that perspective, all the changes that they're making now, as far as I'm concerned, they're not as significant as the changes that have already been made in the club, like changing owners. So we have gone through a complete overhaul. We have bought a lot of players in, and all of those players are young. We have gotten rid of a lot of players, and all those players were instrumental up to a certain degree. So yeah, it's there's not much we can do about what they're doing on there. It's just, yeah, maybe because these news are being published, then we know that the fact that there is a change that's happening in higher management. But if none of these things were being announced, would any of this outrage be there? No, I don't think so. But I mean, obviously they have to be announced because it is a new acquisition and it is a new team. But it's not as simple as thinking maybe if we got a loan manager from Manchester United, then we'd have a better season. Nonsense, absolute nonsense.
You're right. Hiring a loan manager from Manchester United City, you name it, man, doesn't change anything. Doesn't change our season because all they do is just making sure those players on loan they're treated well, they're checking the environment where they're living, those kind of things, right? So wouldn't affect how we are playing at the moment, wouldn't affect our recruitment structure. It's all about making sure those players where they're staying and managing their game time and those kind of stuff, making sure that you're playing a sort of a father figure into your lives. Remember, for example, Casade was on loan and then he had to stay, maybe, for example, at a hotel, right? And he have to cook for himself, those kind of things. And then, as a loan manager, you need to call them, ask them, are you handling the pressure? Can you do certain things and stuff? If you watch Kanagalaga documentary, at Chelsea. It's there on the website. It was talking about difficulties from Swansea, West Brom. I think after playing because he's at London and then doesn't have to travel a lot, so he can stay with his family. But at Swansea, West Brom, had to stay away from home. Those kind of things. So I think a loan manager is going to do those stuff. But also too, there's been rumors about Mauricio Pochettino's job might be evaluated, or they will check everything at the end of the season and then they'll decide whether he will stay for the next season or they'll sack him. So overall now, for you as a fan, I know we have to lower our expectation because we are on and off. We can see clearly that we are not a done team at the moment. We are far from a better team because 10th and stuff. So, for example, if Mauricio Pochettino, let's say, wins Carabao Cup and finish 10th, or finish 10th without winning a trophy, what do you do if you the board or the owners?
I wouldn't sack him. I would not sack him. Whether he wins or not, I still wouldn't sack him. It's we need to remember that we don't have a mature enough squad. We don't. It was easier back in the day to just change managers because the vast majority of the squad was highly matured professionals. They were people that have been playing football professionally for at least 15 years, and they know exactly how the game is played. They know exactly the culture of the team. We don't know the culture of the team anymore. We are trying to cultivate that. We are trying to get to a point where we have an identity as a team, as a club, as fans. It's not the same team anymore. And we keep saying that quite literally all the time in every one of us of our streams. We keep saying that it's not we are not the same team anymore, and we have to come to grips with that. We are not the same team anymore. So his job may be evaluated, but I highly doubt he's going to get signed. I really do. I mean, the owners are not idiots. They genuinely know the kind of squad that we have. Imagine if they were to bring someone like Thomas Tuchel back into the team, and he stops playing players like Cole Palmer as a right wing or even anything forward. He plays him as a right wing back. Would now our fans be happy with that again? Would they be happy with that kind of treatment with how Cole Palmer would be treated? I don't think so. There's a lot of positives with the team right now. Yes, it's not great. Yes, it's not best. Yes, it's not consistent. But there's a lot of positives we can take out of this. I mean, who's this? Just look at how Cole Palmer has fit into the squad and the way that he's played. I don't think any other coach would have given him that much of opportunity if it wasn't for Poch. Yes, he drops players like Mikhailo Mudrik because he's not consistent. Maybe he's not impressed with how he trains during his any of the training sessions. Maybe there's something else that we don't know. Perhaps there's also another thing uh, look, the way that he's done so far, it's not great. I won't lie to you. I'm not entirely impressed with the way Poch has run the team, but sacking him would take us 3-4 steps back. It will take us back, definitely, and we have to find someone else to start from scratch. Or if he was to be sacked now, we'll have to now go around looking for an interim manager while it's exactly the same process we had last year. I mean, how many times can we go through the same thing, right? So it most likely won't happen that way, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people are calling for his head. People want him out. People are Poch out. You see these Twitter handles and the way that people go about hashtag Poch out. You find other huge Twitter accounts. I'm not going to mention names because but you find all these influencers with huge followings. They would go and say poch out, poch out, poch out, but but really, what do they expect? We bring Tuchel back, and then what? We play a back three all these games. We become a more passive game again, or we bring more Mourinho back into the team. What Mourinho would excel with players that have played football for a very long time. He would excel in a team of fully professional players that have been playing professional football for at least 15 years. Like I said, he would be that. He's not. He doesn't have that fire in him anymore, and people want him to come back for what? Or we want to add Hansi Flick into the team. To why? Because he's going to be faced with exactly the same problems we have now. The only difference might be how he deals with those problems. Sure. Maybe he might be a much different, maybe he might be a much better problem solver than Mauricio Pochettino has been, but we expect far too much. We are not the same team anymore. We need to get used to it. We just aren't.
I agree with you. And I think if the club wants to sack him now, and also it's too late to sack him now because, man, the season is almost over. But also, for it will be fair for him to play the final against Liverpool because he's the one who took us there, right? And then have a chance of at least trying to win his first trophy in England. And then if he wins a trophy, I think the board will give him more time because he's shown the board that look, I've won something. I deserve to be here, right? And also in the FA Cup, we're still there. I know at the moment at the league we are struggling, and then it's not about Mauricio Pochettino only in the league. We've been struggling before, even under Thomas Tuchel, other coaches. Yes, we've been third, maybe fourth, but at the end of the day, we didn't win the league that time, and we had more quality players, or should I say, experienced players. Now we have a bunch of kids that need more time to gel. And also, I think in the summer, our recruitment must be spot on. Give us quality players. I know you also want to buy young players. I don't care about buying young players or old players. Just buy us quality players, ready-made players. For example, Real Madrid brought Jude Bellingham. Know that already had played three or two seasons at Dortmund. He was ready for a big challenge. But as with Chelsea, we bought players from other leagues, but we don't rate those leagues somehow. But overall, I think we need to do better as a team in terms of the recruitment stuff. But also, as you mentioned, sacking a Mauricio Pochettino right now will make things more worse. I know as friends sometimes we're reactional after the game. Oh, Poch must go. It's normal. This is how we feel about the club because we want to win each and every game. But if you look for the future, I think as fans, what we wish for, we should be careful. So, Tsiku, give me your final thoughts about what we talked about today, and I think we'll wrap it up. Hopefully, if you are free tomorrow, we can do another stream.
I can make time tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Friday. Yeah, I can most certainly make time tomorrow. We can have another stream, no problem. Look, I'm not excited about the game against Man City. I won't lie to you. I don't want to see our boys suffer. I am not excited about the game that we're going to play against City. But if we give it our all, we might stand a chance. I said that against the in the Aston Villa game, we had a 70-30 chance of winning. Apparently, we had 100% chance of winning, and we won. I did not have that much courage or that much faith against Crystal Palace. We won. I don't have much faith against Manchester City. Prove me wrong, boys. Prove me wrong. You know, prove me wrong that I'm wrong to doubt you. I'm wrong to think that you won't win. Prove me wrong. That's it. If we can give a spirited performance, 100%, I'm all behind the boys. But I mean, how often does Manchester City lose at home? It's almost a miracle to win a game there. It's almost a miracle. So if we do that and we don't play as dismally as we did against Wolves and Liverpool, sure, then I'm all behind the boys, 100%. But other than that, I think um, I think we are in a good place right now, and not just as a group of players, as the team as a group of players, but even as a club as a whole. I think we're in a good place right now. I think we are finally finding our footing. The fact that we didn't even buy any players in the January window is evidence that we are a bit more comfortable with what we have right now. We're trying to build what we already have right now, and the owners are trusting these players to try and get something out of their abilities. You know what I mean? To try and get the best out of them. So yeah, we don't have that many injury issues anymore. I mean, we've got how many players now that are injured? Seven or eight? Hey, is it seven? I think it is seven now. I just haven't seen the latest injury update yet. I'll check it shortly. But we've had some long term injuries, and we made it to a final in the League Cup. That cannot go. We can't take that for granted. We actually made it to a final of a cup. So all we have to do on the 25th, which is 10 days from now, is win. That's all we got to do is win that trophy and come back home with it. If we win one trophy, I would be happy. If we go to the final of the FA Cup, I would be happy. But I'm not going to keep my hopes up at all about winning. However, I do think we stand a very good chance to win that cup against Liverpool. I mean, we had bad luck against them in the last FA Cup. Was it a Carabao Cup final that we played against them at Wembley, where we missed penalties and Kepa took the last penalty and shot the ball out the roof. I'm not sure if it was the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, but we've had very bad luck at Wembley, with Wembley finals recently. So we just need to lift that curse, win that game, play as defensively solid as much as possible, try to not concede, try to not lose the game to start with, and then see if perhaps we can get something out of it. We just have to maybe, try and get Liverpool to make mistakes in that game. But the game against Man City that's the challenge. That's the very big challenge in the league this Saturday. So hopefully they, man, I'm pretty sure they're gonna field a very good team there because they will want to make a statement. They will want to win also. So they will most likely have a very good team in. Most likely have who's this guy? Kevin De Bruyne starts. They will most likely have Bernardo Silva starts. They'll most likely have Rodri start. Rodri pretty much starts every game, and that's that. I mean that's a midfield trio that everybody dreams of. I dream of having such a midfield trio so that we can be more competitive. But we have Dante is here. Oh my god. Hey man, you need to join the stream so you can give us your opinions. This whole thing of you having to text in the comment section is getting tiring. Clearly, you have a lot of opinions, strong opinions in that. So you might as well join us and we have a conversation. Let me know what you think. But honestly, it's going to be a very tough game. I don't expect any miracles at all. But if we get one, I will take it with both hands wide open. I will accept it. I will accept the miracle any day. But yeah, we'll most definitely see. Dante, you must join us one day, bruh. One of these days, you need to come here and you give us your opinion as to why you think we need to get Poch out, why you're so tired of this man, and what you think on what your thoughts are on the overall state of the club. But yeah, it's that's my final thought.
Yeah, big up to Dandy. You're right, Sego. We need his opinion. Hopefully, in the next stream, he'll be available. And then, or we'll do a special stream for Dante just to let us know his problem about Mauricio Pochettino. Oh, now I understand now. But I think we should make time. I just woke up for a snack in Australia. It's 3 a.m. for a snack in 3 a.m. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Dante, for being here. Lateness is greatness. But unfortunately, we have to wrap the stream. And then hopefully tomorrow we'll make a early stream. We'll just decide tomorrow. We have something called load shedding in our country, so man, it's so difficult to do streams at the moment. I wish to do stream each and every day, but it's so difficult. So overall, I think we need to build Manchester City, but I'm not overexcited, right? I'm not overexcited. Anything can happen. Let me just read this comment. Yeah, I'm working on it for Chelsea's perspective to come on, and will come here as well once I sort my stuff out. Okay. Uh, so, Tira, thank you, man, for coming in. Appreciate it. And then hopefully tomorrow we'll do another stream. Also, Dante, thank you for coming. Coach, Papi. So, up the Charles, guys. See you tomorrow.
Cheers, brother.